Well, hello there, Henros. It is day 15, stage 14 of the Shikoku Henro, and after having an amazing rest day here in Akoshi City, today we head back out. We have tempos 31, 32, and 33, and as you can see, it is a cloudy day. There's a chance of rain in the afternoon, so I better hurry up. Woke up this morning at 5:30, and I was out the door before 6, just had breakfast at the local convenience store, Lawson, and my dear phone is back. So from now on, I have a new camera, I have an unlimited data plan, and there's nothing that can bring me down, not even this rain. Today we have an easy 18-kilometer day ahead, but let's just round it up to 20 because, as we always know, things are not what they seem on paper. Now, yesterday I spent about 2 hours with the guy that runs the hostel trying to book the accommodations that are coming up ahead on the coast, and everything was booked to my surprise. Couldn't find a place in the town in Temple 37 or anywhere else along the way. I ended up finding one, Casa Garcia, which is kind of like a hole in the wall. There's no meals on that accommodation, and I booked it just to have it secure. So the plan for now is to make it as close as possible to 37, take a train to that place, come back the next morning, do like a slack pack kind of day. You know, I'm not gonna let this rain ruin my parade. And today, now we're leaving the city behind. We had to climb just a little bit over a hill where there's a park, where there's a temple up there, come down and then follow the ocean all the way to the inn where I will be staying today. Today is an easy day. Tomorrow's gonna be a 30+ kilometer day. I couldn't break it in half. There are no trains in this section, not until we get closer to Temple 37. And from 37 to 38, we're talking about 80 kilometers once again. Temple 31, Shikirunji, the Bamboo Forest Temple. In 724, Emperor Shōmu dreamt of climbing Mount Wutai in China. He ordered Gyoki to find a similar mountain in Japan to build a temple. Gyoki ultimately chose Mount Godai and founded Shikirunji. The temple was favored and supported by the Yamakushi family, the feudal lords of Tosa. Despite their support, Shikirunji faced challenges, including the destruction of its 3-story pagoda by a devastating typhoon in 1899. Shikirunji is more than a historical site, it is a cultural landmark in its own right. It was once a bustling academic temple attracting scholars like Musho Kokushi. The temple's spiritual legacy includes the extraordinary feat of Shokun Shibutsu, or self-mummification, achieved by one of its abbots through fasting, meditation, and burial alive. During the suppression of Buddhism in favor of Shinto, Shikirunji Buddhist treasures were buried for protection. These treasures are now displayed in the Homotsen, or treasure house, which holds 70 statues of Buddha dating from the Fujiwara to Kamakura periods. The temple also inspired the famous Japanese folk song Yosakoi Butsu, which mentions a monk buying a hairpin in Himalaya Bridge in Tosa. Well, it's official. I love Temple 31. Just nestled in the hills in between the forest, and it has the garden and a beautiful bell tower. And it's just so quiet. There's nobody here. I already got my calligraphy stamp on both the book, the scroll, and now the shirt. So I have overcomplicated myself. It's taking longer now to do the whole process, and I have to adapt. But that's what this hand roll is all about, is adapting to the circumstances, to things as they come, and not complaining, because you're not allowed to. Today, for the first time on the whole trip, couldn't make it to the bathroom, and I had to go in the wilderness. Yes, it's unpleasant, even though this pilgrimage has the most toilets that I've ever seen in any of my trips. I thought the Via Podiensis was the crown king, but no, this one, it took the spot. So yeah, now I have to make my way down. It started drizzling there for a little bit, but it stopped, so I don't think it's gonna rain until much later on. So I wanna gain some ground, trying to make it to Temple 33 before the heavens open up. Temple 32, Senjibuji, the temple of the Chang Master's Peak. Perched atop Mineyama, an 82-meter high mountain, Senjibuji is affectionately known as the Peak Temple. Fishermen also called it Funadama or Kannon Bosatsu, the 11-faced Buddhist Ava who hears the sounds of the world and the sounds of ships. This reflects his purpose of praying for safety at sea. During the Edo period, both fishermen and feudal lords prayed for safety voyages here, especially when traveling from Urato Bay to Edo, now Tokyo. According to legend, Gayoki built the temple on the order of Emperor Shomu to pray for the safety of vessels off Tosa's coast. In 806, Kobodashi visited the temple and was struck by the sacred rocks and stones. He felt it was as holy as the pure land of Kannon Bosatsu or the sacred mountain Potalaka in India. Kobodashi carved a statue of a Jushimen Kannon Bosatsu as the principal image and named the temple Senshi Mineji, or Zen Master Temple of the Mountain Peak. The mountain's name came from Mount Mineyama's resemblance to a lotus flowers with 8 petals. The temple was deeply revered and supported by feudal lords, including Yamauchi Kazutoyo. The statue of Kannon Bosatsu, known as Funatama Kannon, still attracts fishermen seeking protection. Well, here we are in Temple 32 after walking 5.2 kilometers, I believe it is, and check out this viewpoint of the rest of today's stage. I'm heading in that direction. I can see that peak over there with the restaurant in the viewpoint, and I'm staying somewhere behind that. I still got, I think, half of today's stage ahead. It's drizzling on and off, but just a little bit. Not enough to take out my rain gear. I was walking to this temple with two Americans that caught up with me, and they were just telling me their experience so far and the issues that they're also having in finding accommodations and how they actually had to stay in Kochi and walk backwards towards Temple 24. A few of the Henros that I met already had to do that, so I guess I have to consider myself lucky that I wasn't in that situation. They did find a place to stay in Temple 37, which I can't find one right now. So it's like that. We're trying to figure out why this is happening. There are not that many people out here. I think they've seen already over maybe 20 Henros in total, and I've seen just about the same number. So it is the hardest part of this pilgrimage so far. It's just having to find the accommodations with all the hurdles that we had to jump through to do it. But it is part of the trip, it's part of the pilgrimage, and you're not allowed to complain, so it's just, you have to take it and learn from it. Let's continue. Sayonara. It's been a rainy morning ever since I left Temple 32, walking through the small, seaside village over here, and I found this family mart where I'm taking refuge from the rain right now, and also to have a bite to eat for lunch. Yesterday I spent the whole day in Kochi City relaxing. Once my phone was resurrected, I had to download all the apps that I need out here that I use on a day-to-day basis, upload all the GPS tracks. Now I'm back in familiar territory. I can see the terrain, I can see it in 3D. The dot is super precise. It's not like on the iPad where sometimes it will cover a large area, or it will just simply freeze. It will lose connection and will never reconnect. So that's a huge weight off my shoulder. Yesterday I visited the castle, which was incredible, and then at night I headed out into the promenade looking for a place to have dinner, and I found this place that was recommended to me, but the menu, no pictures on the menu, so I really couldn't order anything. So I moved on to another one that had a large display outside with all the different dishes that they were offering, and I even had some sake. So great meal all around, and today is just, you gotta pay the price, right? Let's enjoy some lunch right now. Well, I have a little surprise for you guys. Instead of crossing over using the bridge, I'm gonna take a small ferry that's passes by on the hour, every hour. I think made it here just 2 minutes shy, just by coincidence. So it was meant to be. I'm here with another Henro that I've seen quite a few times along the way, and we're gonna be taking this ferry together. And it's just gonna make that day that much shorter on a rainy day. I see the boat coming already. Let's get ready. That ferry is a nice touch on today's stage. Yes, it took nothing to cross over the bay. And there was 3 Henros and a lady on a bicycle. And the ferry runs once an hour, and it saves you a huge walk where you have to cross over that busy bridge. And then you have the option of visiting that cape, which I plan to do so if it would have been a sunny day, just to get some shots there. And then you have to follow the marina all the way around and reconnect with the Camino here. Not far away from Temple 33, and today's inn where I will be staying today. Getting there way too early, but then again, you know, I had no choice. There's nothing in between 33 and 35 where I could break up the stage. I wanted to stay around Temple 36. There's an onsen there which charges about $6,500 during the week, and on the weekends it's like $13,000. And today it is Saturday, so that's unfortunate for me. I'll spend a little bit of time in Temple 33 just to kill some time before heading to the inn, where I'm gonna sit down and have a hard look at the next few stages and trying to see if I can, you know, work some miracle and book ahead. Temple 33, Sekkeiji, the Temple of the Snowy Cliff, a historic Zen temple located in the suburbs of Kochi City, near one of the city's many waterways. Situated about 4 kilometers west of the renowned Katsurama Beach on Tosa Bay, famous for its white sand and stunning moonlight views. Sekkeiji is one of only 3 Zen temples on the Shikoku pilgrimage, along with Temple 11 and Temple 15. Founded by Kobodashi in 815 and originally called Kofukuji, the temple was part of the Shingon sect. It was later rebuilt by Shosokabe Motochika, who invited Geppo, a monk from the Rinzai sect, to be the chief priest. The temple was renamed Sekkeiji after Motochika's Buddhist name and became a family temple for the Shokosabe clan. Sekkeiji holds a special place in the region's history. Motochika made it his ancestral temple and his son's ashes were buried there. Motochika's own grave is a 20-minute walk to the east of the temple. Made it to Temple 23 at 12:45, and I walked past the inn where I'm supposed to be staying today, where I am staying today, and I saw that the check-in was at 4, so I was resigned to my fate that I had to wait like 3 hours. So I headed into the temple and I did the entire routine. I filmed as much as I could just to let the time pass. And once I was done, I walked across with the intention of just sitting by the front door, and I saw the lady stepping out and getting into her car. I think she's heading somewhere right now. We were trying to communicate with Google Translate, and she allowed me to enter and settle in here into my room where I am right now, and she told me that she will be back at 4. So that's miracle number 3. Now I have 3 hours for her until she comes back. So I'm gonna take a shower and see if I can do laundry, and then jump into my iPad and see if I can figure out what to do in the stage ahead. Got air conditioning over here, and it's funny because I can use Google Translate now on my phone and record at the same time, so it looks pretty cool how it does the live translation. And yes, I mean, it's kind of early to be here, it's 1:25, but there's nothing I can find from here all the way to Temple 26. That's how it goes. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm in a different room altogether. And how did this happen? Well, after taking my shower, doing laundry, shaving my head, which I do every day around 4 p.m., the lady came, knocked on my door when everybody was checking in, and asked me to please share this room with a German guy because she overbooked and she needed my room. That's what I got from Google Translate. I don't know what really happened, but that's the story that I'm sticking with. So yeah, I got my space here, not a problem. I just had dinner with the whole gang downstairs. I haven't seen so many heroes before. I managed to make 2 reservations up ahead, so I'm trying to book as far as I can. I'm gonna ultimately end up booking the entire trip because this is like a bed race right now. There's so many heroes that are doing the trip right now that it's gonna force me to make decisions that I don't want to make, but that's how it goes. So yes, tomorrow is gonna be an early wake-up call, 6 a.m. because tomorrow I have like a 35-kilometer day. A really long one, but I had to be by the hostel at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. sharp, because since I don't have a phone number so I can call the place, they're gonna check on the security camera, and if they see me outside, they're gonna drive to the place and open it up for me. Crazy, but that's how it is. Today's trail angel of the day is Patrick. Thank you so much for the trail magic, the Osetai, and I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow at 6 a.m. sharp, just as the sun rises.